The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
And we are live to tape once again to the W2M Network for the Wrestling to the Max SmackDown Live review for January 2nd, 2018. I think I said 17 at the open of SmackDown. Oops. Stuff happens. What can I say? Hi, everyone. I'm Harry Broadhurst. And joining me, once again, back in the saddle, Miss Liz Pugliese. Welcome back, Liz.
Thank you, Harry.
Again, quick shout out to Brandon Biskobing for filling in the last 3 weeks. First for myself and then for Liz for 2 weeks as well. We appreciate it, Brandon. Stay close.
You, Brandon.
We may need you again soon, so stay close, homie. All right. That being said, what do you say we get into the first episode of 205 Live of 2018?
Let's go.
Akira Tozawa issues an open challenge to start the show. And if you know anything about wrestling, you know that open challenges never end well. Unless they're U.S. Open challenges. Brap-a-doo! Sorry. It is the returning TJP, who last we saw was either taking time off for a knee injury, depressed over his breakup with a guy whose name we don't mention on 205 Live anymore because of a domestic abuse situation, or any number of other things here. Very long match to start the show here, in my opinion. I was really surprised they got, although now that I'm seeing Larry's review, it says it was 10 minutes. It felt longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah. But it's good, though, because sometimes they don't. I mean, 205 always has, as we've said many times, usually the best wrestling or the most wrestling of the shows, but a lot of times they don't really get that much time because they try to cram everybody in.
Larry pretty much accurately describes it here. TJP picks up an important win on his return in a technically solid match that no one cared about. It's quite frankly depressing to watch these guys in front of such dead crowds. Yeah, you could hear a pin drop in that arena tonight.
And we say it almost every week. I don't know what you guys would say in the past 3 weeks, but you and I have said several times the where they fall into the taping schedule is what's killing the shows.
Backstage promo between Goldust and Cedric Alexander, once again playing off their teaming last night on Raw, and then now once again being reunited for a rematch against the team of Ariya, Davari, and Drew Gulak here. All right, so you said before we got started here that you had some thoughts about Goldust being on 205 Live, so I'll go ahead and cede the floor to you here to give your thoughts there.
I just don't understand why it's Goldust. Out of everybody that they could have possibly used, he probably makes the least sense out of anybody.
Well, a lot of it has to do with the fact that Goldust has been trying to get more television time lately, and they finally found something for him. Look, does putting a 240-pounder on 205 Live make any logical sense? No, none, zero.
It's not even the weight class for me. It's just, I don't know. I think they could have found. I love Goldust. I mean, I have whatever. But I think they could have found somebody that at least had some. I mean, there's always the whole, oh, I'm a veteran and I'm going to come help you because I've been through this and blah, blah, blah. You can learn from me crap going on, sure. But I think they could have found somebody that had some sort of interaction with them in the past.
Well, something that Tony and I discuss a lot on the reaction is the fact that we feel like the cruiserweights feel foreign on 205 Live because they never interact with the main roster. Maybe this is kind of an attempt to get them to interact with the main roster and bring some of the Raw talent over to 205 Live in order to get people to watch and or stay in the arena for the shows.
Yeah, which is why they put the dark match at the end of it to entice everybody to stay.
AJ Styles wrestled twice tonight, for those of you wondering.
And so did Sammy and Owens.
Well, Owens was just at ringside. He actually wrestled in the dark match.
Whatever, he worked. He was there.
Yes, he was. And now that Liz is going to kill me, I think it's best that I move on. I actually kind of like the wacky pairing of Goldust and Cedric Alexander. It feels very Goldust Booker T to me.
Yeah, hello, exactly. It's always Goldust and Booker T, Goldust and R-Truth. You know, it's like a little...
Apparently, Goldust has an interest in making wacky black friends. It happens.
Nothing against it. I'm just saying. Anyway, go on. I'm done.
All right. Coming back ringside here, Jack Gallagher comes down to the ring and talks about the fact that his mentor, Brian Kendrick, isn't here because Hideo Itami decided to break his face. That was the first 205 Live. Oh, no, that was the second 205 Live that you missed, was the day after Itami broke after Itami broke Kendrick's face here. Have you seen the clip?
Oh, my God, yeah. Poor Kendrick.
I don't know that I blame Itami for this one, though.
Oh, I don't blame Itami for it at all. I'm just saying poor Kendrick, that he has a broken face. I don't blame Itami for it. I mean, just like in anything, I mean, you can go to your job as a, you know, accountant and trip over a stapler and break your leg. I mean, things freaking happen.
Excuse me, Liz, I believe you have my stapler.
I left it here, right here, for you to trip over.
Sorry, Office Space. Had a moment. All right, moving on. So, Gallagher challenged Itami to a rematch in order to get vengeance after losing to Itami last week on 205 Live. Instead of having an actual match, though, it turns into an assault where Kendrick hits Itami in the throat with the umbrella and then reveals that there was a lead pipe inside of it. Okay, pipe may or may not have been lead. Use your imagination.
Interesting.
I want to care.
Probably as well.
I want to care. I do. I like Gallagher. I've been a huge fan of Itami before his WWE run, but frankly, even his NXT days, he's been very uninspired in the WWE.
I mean, they don't give them, we see them pop up on Raw a little bit, you know, and then they're here. They have an hour. You know, in the other two shows, there's a lot of back and forth. You might see some people pop up, you know, a few times within a show to build their storyline, which has its pros and its cons. But the guys on 205, it's really, you know, mainly in the ring, which definitely has its pros, but also has its cons. Sometimes you don't know why the heck they don't even like each other. What are they fighting about this week? We don't know because they fought about it last week or something else last week or, you know, whatever. There's no real backstory to make you care.
The presentation as a whole suffers too, just based on the crowd reactions. I feel like if the crowd were more invested, these matches would be more entertaining. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or, in this particular instance here, the Gallagher beatdown on Itami would come across more effectively if there was an actual sympathetic crowd for Itami getting beaten down. Instead, you got about 10 to 13,000 people sitting on their hands, no one giving a damn, and we're just sitting here at home watching Itami get beat down with a metal pipe to silence.
Yeah, 205 definitely needs something, a Facebook show, another, you know, some specials popping up, or, you know, somewhere. They need something to really make it last.
Ariya, Davari, and Drew Gulak have a promo backstage with interview lady whose name I can never remember.
Nope, can't help you.
Okay, well, I was hoping that somebody would know, but I guess, okay, maybe next week we'll find out. I always get Sasha and Kayla confused, so I don't even try anymore. Which kind of tells you how interchangeable. Never mind. Moving on.
Well, no, it is because they look alike.
They talk about the fact that they weren't ready for Goldust last night. He's not even a cruiserweight. However, in honor of Enzo Amore, they will pick up the win tonight. Goldust comes in, tries to startle them like he did the night before. Gulak barks back because that's what Gulak does. And Goldust complains that Gulak's breath stinks because apparently we're back in first grade.
Right.
I'm not even going to waste my time. Main event. Goldust and Alexander taking on Gulak and Davari once again here. All right, so I appreciate the attempts to keep Alexander looking motivated and looking like he has momentum going into the match with Enzo Amore when he gets his Cruiserweight title opportunity. We haven't really touched on it tonight here on the 205 Live review because he wasn't on the show, but Enzo's out due to being sick. He has the flu apparently and is not cleared by the WWE medical facility. I'm assuming something to worry about health concerns in regards to Z-Packs and lawsuits and punks and, well, never mind.
They probably just don't want to spread the flu, Harry. Look what the mumps did to them. The flu could wipe out half the roster.
Okay, but in fairness, the mumps actually make the show more. Never mind.
It really
not
did. Actually,
not going to do this. I'm better than that. Moving on. Alexander once again picks up another win, pinning Drew Gulak with the lumbar check for the second night in a row. Would it kill Ariya Davari to fall? Would it really?
I don't know what it would do. It's there. It's another show that's just there. It doesn't really even advance anything. It just rehashes it.
Tell your mom I hope she feels better.
Thank you. I apologize for that.
It's okay. Stuff happens. And in regards to the match itself, it honestly didn't feel like anything we didn't see on Raw the night before. Alexander got face imperiled. Goldust got the hot tag. Alexander came back in with a flashy dive because apparently after getting beaten down for 5 minutes, standing on the apron for a minute or so allows you to regain your momentum enough to do crazy flippity dives. And then a lumbar check once again finishes Gulak here. Okay, so maybe the storyline here is that it's Gulak disappointing Enzo. And that would be the logical story to tell because they're kind of teasing dissension between Gulak and Enzo already. At the same time, though, eventually you have to give Gulak something in order to make him remain credible with the actual 205 Live audience if he's ever going to step up to Enzo on an actual man-versus-man situation.
I would like to see in the match between Cedric and Enzo, Gulak destroying both of them.
I feel like that could be fantastic.
I mean, it's Gulak. Of course, it'll be fantastic.
Okay,
but, everything he does is freaking fantastic. But we're
having some audio difficulties. I apologize for the delay between us. I was just going to say there, we are the official podcast plugging Drew Gulak here on the rest.
We're just going to change this to the Gulak Appreciation Show. But I think it would definitely liven things up, which is something that they need. I think some people might suspect something like that's going to happen, but I think he's going to cost Enzo the title.
Wait a minute, you're thinking that gas would lighten things up?
Gas would light things up? That's not what I said.
Gulak Appreciation Show, GAS.
Oh my God, that's brilliant! Now I love it. Yes.
It's weird how my mind works sometimes. All right, scale of 1 to 10, Liz, where do you fall on tonight's episode of 205 Live?
5.
I think 5's kind of a stretch. I mean, I'm going to go 5 as well, but it doesn't really lean there. This dead crowd is killing the show. Really? Everything that made the Cruiserweight Classic so exciting, with the fact that you had the fans at Full Sail so into everything, is just non-existent for these 205 Lives. And I feel like we talk about that on a weekly basis.
We do. It's a bulk of the show sometimes. I've said it several times already, just in these few minutes we've been talking. But there's no, and you can't really blame, you can't really put all the blame on the wrestlers because These guys put on some amazing matches. But, there's no build up to it. We don't see these guys as much as we see everybody else. And when we do, it's just Enzo, or centered around Enzo. And some of them are a little, I'm obviously no great talker myself here, but some of them are a little, blah, but they're not given the opportunity to work on it and expand. But the crowd is definitely killing them.
One word review, Liz. What do you got for me?
Blah. Just technically a word.
That works about as well as anything. I was going to go with meh. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Anything else before we get out of here for the night?
That is it.
All right. In that case, this has been your 205 Live review here on the Wrestling to the Max Network. You can find us online at W2Mnet.com. You can listen to me more here on the W2M Network by tuning into the kickoff tomorrow night, Wednesday, for those of you listening to this on delay. We have our postseason preview as we predict the wild card weekend games, including my Buffalo Bills against Eric's Jacksonville Jaguars. That should be fun. So, for our executive producer, Sean Garmer, my co-host, Miss Liz Pugliese, I'm Harry Broadhurst, thanking you for listening to the Wrestling to the Max 205 Live review here on the W2M Network. We'll talk to you guys next Tuesday night.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.